Mitchell Kriegman created the show Clarissa Explains It All.
Yeah, I did.
And some other classics.
Yeah, I created Bear in the Big Blue House, and I worked on Rugrats, Ren and Stimpy, Doug, Rocco.
But I love Clarissa, so we came out here to talk about it and learn some things about the show that we probably didn't know.
Cool.
Here we go.
The ladder was, I think, about 4 rungs or something like that. It was like about maybe this high. And Sam had to crouch down underneath the window and go like a mime, coming up every time. And he had to slam it on there, and we had to get that guitar sting in, of course. And when they built the set, you could see in the pilot, we eventually fixed this, right? But in the pilot, you could see through the window and see the floor of the studio. I banned purple. I would never give a reason. And I kind of rationalized it a little bit by saying, I'm trying to appeal to boys and girls. And I said, well, it's got to be all pink and blue. We got to use those as our main colors. And purple throws that off. Bullshit, complete bullshit, right? They just ignored me after a while. Well, I can't really tell you is the problem with that. And I've never told anybody, even Melissa. I had the most amazing writers. I had Suzanne Collins, who wrote Hunger Games, Alexa Young, who was one of the main writers on Friends, Nina Bieber wrote plays and wrote Daria. I mean, these writers, all went on to do like amazing stuff, If you're like 26 to 36, almost universally, if I say I created Clarissa Explains It All, they scream like a 14-year-old girl. And they say, that's my childhood, you made my childhood. And those are the words everybody says. It's like my career is 30 years younger than I am, which I love. It's super satisfying. It's completely wonderful.
Okay, Fred, you ready?
Cool, man.
I'll take that as a yes. This is Fred Newman.
Hey.
What do you do, Fred?
I honk for a living. I worked on a Nickelodeon show called Doug. I did the sound design and music. That wasn't Doug's voice, that was actually my voice. We wanted to use as much as we could household objects, things that a kid would have. Make it sound innocent, because this is a kid's diary. I tended to do a lot of things with my mouth.
Dear Journal, have you ever been so broke you had to cash in your pennies?
Not only did Fred work on the sounds and music, but was also a voice for a bunch of the characters.
Pork chop the dog. He would actually kind of talk, but not quite. Skeeter.
It's short for mosquito.
Cool, man. He had the little honk. Hey, Doug, how you doing, man? I saw he had a big nose. I just thought he would always have this sort of adenoid thing going on. A lot of post-nasal drip. Bud Dink.
Welcome, newcomer.
He had big chiclet teeth. And his name was Dink because of double income, no kids. The Beats. I need more allowance, yodelay. Killer tofu. And that was kind of based on Sting a little bit.
While Doug may be Fred's claim to fame in our eyes, he does all kinds of sounds for movies, TV, and radio. His first movie was Gremlins.
I came in and did the bad guy Stripe. Some of them were cute. I did the sound when the Mogwai turned into the bad guys.
But Fred's often on screen when you don't even realize it.
I did a lot of dogs in movies. I will go. You've got to put real human emotions coming out of animals or doors. The door has to sound sad when you open it up. That's where I get called in.
Okay, let's try a couple. Horse. Weasel. Aliens. Birds. Vibration.
The message I say is whatever makes you weird, go there and pursue that. Mine is sound. I never thought for a second I could do that for a living. But here I am. As the sun sinks slowly in the west, we bid you all a fond farewell.
In 1992, Nickelodeon debuted the TV show Guts. It was just like American Gladiator, only the contestants were all kids.
The rocks have tumbled. The smoke is smoking.
And while the show was epic in every way, the theme song is one of those pieces where you start singing it and somebody next to you joins in. So we found the guy who wrote it.
My name is Rick Wachowski, and I am the composer of the Nickelodeon theme song, Guts. Do you have it? Do you have it? Guts.
It takes deep dedication.
When I got the call to do this piece, hip-hop was just coming of age. Immediately, it came to mind, do you have it? Guts. They liked it, and they said, you think you can put a little rap to it? And I said, sure. I'm a Polish guy from West Virginia. I can rap, yeah. It takes a certain kind of something to keep the heart pumping.
Something everybody needs to achieve to succeed. You'll need a lot.
A lot of words.
Do you have it?
They were big on the sound effect stuff and that too. And you can hear me in there go, I sampled myself.
So Rick, he didn't just write the theme song for Guts. He was kind of the 90s jingle guy for Nickelodeon.
Guts was my first show for Nickelodeon. I did some music for the Big Help. I did all the music for Kids' Choice Awards. Figure It Out. The remake of Family Double Dare.
Double Dare 2000!
I did stuff for Nick at Night also. Nick at Night. Oh, here's a show I forgot to mention. I did the music for a show called Action League Now.
Action League Now, starring The Flesh Piece.
On my bucket list, I'd love to be involved in having a hit record, and I'm still working on that, but I guess, to a degree, like the Guts theme, it's my hit. So I'm pretty happy about that.
Let's all go to Gullah Gullah Island. Gullah Gullah! Gullah Gullah!
Remember Gullah Gullah Island? The 90s kids show on Nick Jr. featuring a fun family and a pollywog named Binga Binga? Well, it's a real place. Kind of.
I'm Natalie Days, and I played Miss Natalie on Gullah Gullah Island.
My name is Rhon Days, and I served as a dad.
Show me how old you are, Shane.
5.
There is no real place named Gullah Gullah Island except on TV. It is based on the Gullah Geechee culture, which was passed on by enslaved West Africans who were brought to this country.
Gullah Geechee culture was born out of several African cultures and languages brought here by enslaved people. Everything from cuisines and traditional practices have been maintained through generations of settlement in coastal villages in Georgia and the Carolinas.
I am Gullah Geechee and proud of it. It's important to me to make sure that Gullah Geechee culture is preserved because it's a very important factor of American cultural heritage.
When Natalie and Rhon got the opportunity to present their culture on TV, they jumped at the chance.
By the time we met the woman who became the executive producer, we had been traveling around the country doing stories and songs of Gullah culture. That's what we did. In the beginning, we didn't know that it was so significant. There had never been a show like that before. We wanted a show where our children could see themselves. We actually ended up with a show where everybody could see themselves in us.
Before we go, would you guys mind singing us out?
Man, we get asked that a lot.
Come and let's play together in the bright sunny weather. Let's all go to
Gullah Gullah Island. Gullah Gullah Island. Gullah Gullah Island.
If you were a kid in the 90s, you might remember this show.
Legends of the Hidden Temple.
This guy was the host, Kirk Fogg.
Thank you. Nice to see you. Legends of the Hidden Temple, for those who didn't watch it, was an iconic game show out of the 90s by Nickelodeon.
Are you ready, Olmec? Let's rock.
Barely anybody won. There were 120 shows and like only 30 winners.
Teams, are you ready?
I guess now we can finally get answers to all of our Legends of the Hidden Temple questions.
Who was Olmec?
Yeah, as it turns out, there was a guy standing inside his face.
But he stands back there and he has a microphone here, his copy here, and he has his hand on the lever that handles the mouth. See, I'm gonna ruin it for all the kids. A lot of people ask, who were the temple guards?
Oh, a temple guard!
They were the guys who used to help out during the show. But here's a little behind the scenes secret. Occasionally, some of the writers would dress up. I think they vicariously got a thrill out of scaring the crap out of kids going through that temple. I felt bad for a few of them.
But they really did scare the crap out of kids.
This poor girl got really super upset in the middle of the run and she threw up. And unfortunately, she threw up in the pit of despair.
Oh, God.
Everybody asked what was the hardest room, and I think probably for everybody it was the Shrine of the Silver Monkey. These three things look similar together because they're kind of all silver, so you have to kind of stack them on.
Turn it around, no, turn the head around.
I was actually an expert at it.
So yeah, the temple was pretty impossible. Is that the only reason there were so few winners?
The producers were only allowed to give out 8 championships a year, so there was a budget, and that's the truth of that.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.